Well, thank you all for clearing some time to actually sit down, and this should be a fun one. I got the Stephen King trivia right here, and
Thank God, because that last episode I did with you guys wasn't fun at all.
yeah,
Did they
you
kick
know
your
what? Sorry.
ass? Did they just like kill you? They did me with Vincent Price.
With your nipples.
No,
we
no,
didn't
I'm
have
just-
any trivia. We just kind of went off the rails and talked about every type of movie there was.
We talked a little bit about Halloween, but
Yeah. No, it was a lot of fun.
What's good, everybody, and welcome to Body Bag Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Thomas, and with me, as always, Broke Rider Dave.
Hey, how's everyone doing? Here we are at the season finale. Hey.
Hey.
What's going on, everybody? You know, our most popular episodes are definitely the ones that have a special guest, so why not quadruple it? We have all four of the self-proclaimed, well, not all, part of the so-called
Spooky
friends. But first up, our first guest, not only our first guest here, but the first guest ever on the podcast, author of Not Another Sarah Halls, as well as Take Your Turn Teddy, and woman who has Vincent Price locked up in her basement as we speak, Professor Haley Newlin.
Hi everyone. Thanks for having me back. I can't believe you guys wanted me back.
Before we move on, just a little congratulations are in order because we've run the analytics and the Tingler episode is by far our most downloaded episode.
Wow, that's awesome. I hope everyone went and watched that movie.
So,
Haley, you are truly a Vincent Price evangelist.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. If you listen to that episode, they kicked my ass on trivia, so.
second up, author of Fear, a pandemic horror story, and The Kitchen Sink. He is also the creator of his own universe of Smileyland. But even more impressive than that, he made me change my mind about The Mist, which I hated for years, which is a feat
Yes.
in and of itself. Spencer Hamilton.
That is one of my crowning achievements in life.
Because when I hate something, I hated it since I was, 16? So it has to take at least 10 years for me to change my mind.
Yeah, that's a steep hill to climb,
Yeah.
and I pushed you the whole way.
You held my hand through it the whole way.
That was another fun episode. If you guys haven't listened to it, go back, listen to it.
Listen to them all while you're at it.
Yeah. And then our next guest was our first international guest from across the pond. Author. He just had his book dropped this week. Jamie, how you doing?
Clattering of
I'm
the
very
keys. I hear the clattering of the keys right there.
Jamie
Right there.
Stewart in the house.
How you doing?
How's the reception been?
It's been fantastic. So it has been. It's only been 5 days, but it's it's been brilliant. It's thrilling to feel finally get my own copy in my hand. So it is. Love it.
All right.
Congratulations on the success of it.
Thank you.
And last but not least, guest we had on last week, author of The Window, Voodoo Child, and Potted Plant, Thomas Gloom.
What's
How you
going on,
doing?
Thomas?
How's it going? I'm excited to be here with my spooky friends and trivia on a podcast. I feel like our last discussion went off the rails, and I'm using my powers to gauge the fact that
This one's gonna go
gonna
even
happen.
further. I'm telling you.
Yeah, off the rails, train burning in a ditch somewhere, but we're gonna be dancing on top of it. So
That's going to make trivia harder. You're not going to be able to focus on it because we're going to be so off the rails.
Well,
And
we
then hit
had
the question.
We had 3 people go off the rails. We have 6 people now. So, but before we get started on this, just want to get updated on what's going on with you guys, because when we had our podcast with each of you, you all had something in the works going on. Haley, I believe that you had just recently finished up Butcher of Blue Jay Way, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, the Butcher on Blue Jay Way. And I think when I had you guys, or I came to talk to you guys, it was the week before I did the official submission. So I even told you guys, fingers crossed we get in, and we did. So there's my little
Congratulations.
update. That'll be in the Slasher Anthology
Congrats.
coming out this spring.
Yay.
And I think
Thanks, guys.
you also mentioned the Nowhere Man, I think, is something that you were working on.
Yes. So we are moving forward on the Nowhere Man. I'm going to be really transparent and say short stories are incredibly hard for me to write. So I felt like, and everyone here is just, kick-ass short story writer, but I do prefer the long form. And so writing The Butcher on Blue Jay Way, even though it was less content to me was just vigorous. And so I kind of had to take a creative step back and reevaluate before I could go at it again.
So you said that you submitted it. So can we actually find the Butcher of Blue Jay Way somewhere?
Yeah, so the Butcher on Blue Jay Way is going to come out in the spring of this or 2022, and it's in the slasher anthology, which is an anthology coming out by Campeche Press, and it's all women authors, and it's our women's take on the slasher subgenre of horror.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm excited for it. Yeah,
That's so awesome.
Something to look forward to in 2022. And Spencer,
Yes, sir.
You were still trying to expand on your world of Smiley Land, I believe, when we last talked to you.
That's true. Depending on when this episode lands, there might be a new Smiley Land story out there for people to find.
Yay.
Kind of keeping it under wraps, so I won't say.
Should I edit out me saying that then?
No. But on top of that, we have coming out on December 5th, a new anthology from Blood Rights Horror. Earlier this year, there was an anthology called Bitter Chills that was, snow-based horror, and I had a story in there. And the reception was so great that the publishers have decided to put out an extended holiday edition, December 5th. And so I have expanded my story called The Cold, the Grief, which you can actually listen to on the Into the Gloom podcast that Thomas Gloom narrated. I don't know who that guy is, but and so it has an extended version of that story and also brand new Christmas horror story from me. So I'm excited to put that out there.
Just in time for the holidays.
Just in time.
That's exciting.
What'd you do today, Spencer? What'd you do today, Spencer?
I don't know what you're getting at, man.
No, what did you put out there today? Isn't there a place where people can follow you and hear more about your stuff?
So for those listening, Thomas Gloom also happens to be my author coach and manager. And actually, I have a newsletter that you can join and get all of these updates straight to
Oh yeah, I got the email today. I read that. Yeah.
There you go. You can go to spencerhamiltonbooks.com and sign up, just like the fine folks at Body Bag Podcast did.
Did you sign up as Broke Rider Dave, or did you use Body Bag?
Oh, I set up with my personal email.
Oh, well, Body Bag will be doing that in just a second.
I think you already responded, Dave, right?
I don't think I responded. I just I read through it.
Oh no! I got another response from someone with your same name, and the title line of the email was "How a Good Little Mormon Boy Found Horror Novels," and I got a response from someone named Dave who was like, "Hey, I grew up Mormon too," and it was a nice little email to get.
Like that you mentioned Cell in there.
Mm-hmm. Cell,
which I know it's a random Stephen King book, but it is my favorite. No, it's not the best, but it is my favorite one. So
wow, cool. I think it's one of my favorites too, but just because it was the very first one that I read.
Same. It was the very first Stephen King book I read all the way through. So
nice. It came out when I was 15. And
same here. Actually,
just
have a copy right next to me. Yeah.
Hey, look at that. You came prepared. Love
exactly.
It.
And of course, that brings us to Jamie. Your book just came out, or you just got the physical copies now. When you were talking with us, it was about, I think, a week and a half or 2 weeks before it was available to the public.
Yep. Yeah, it was. That's just out. Seems to be doing very well. It's getting good reviews, and I'm just bunkering down and working on the next thing, which I'm hoping for a February release date next year.
I was just about to ask. So, just the writing just never stops. You're not going to be like, well, I'm going to take a break now. Nope, it's yours is published now, and now you're still working.
Never stop.
I am taking a break right now because I've entered into uni for a year and it's really hot. It's really on top of me. So all the writing right now is academic. But I had this thing over the summer called the Super Secret Writing Project, and it's the last thing that I've written. And I'm going to have to do a draft on it. And then hopefully I'll be ready for February.
You'll have to come back on when we do season 2 and have us promote that too.
I'd love to. A few people here already know about it, but it's a secret project for a reason. And when it gets announced, well, it's going to be very fun and it's going to be very interesting.
We are excited for that.
And Thomas, I know that you had a bunch of guests line up for Into the Gloom on your own podcast. That was about 2 weeks ago. Have you gotten a chance to do some more interviews on your end for your podcast?
So I did have Marcus Hawk on, and I'll be releasing actually the story that he wrote for Bitter Chills. I'll be narrating that and releasing that tomorrow. Then taking a little break over the next few weeks, but yeah, for for the sake of my mental health and my writing that has taken a hit, I'm not going to be releasing an episode every single week like I was for a little bit there.
We learned that the hard way, which is why I'm kind of happy that this is a bittersweet season finale. And I remember telling Dave, I was like, look, man, because I do the editing for this. I'm like, we gotta fix the structure of this thing. This thing is wiping me out. If we're putting out 1 to 2 episodes every single week and having to edit it and do work on top of that.
Yeah. Well, and I'll share because I have no shame. And I know that different people listen to this, and I know that, you guys are working on your own writing as well. And it's easy when you get on Instagram, when you get on podcasts, everybody talks about the positives, but I got a rejection email this week for a short story I submitted, which is just, part of it. But the editor was gracious enough to give me a few thoughts about the story that he liked. And so I really appreciated that. But that is something that comes with the territory. Even within the indie community, a lot of the times we don't have to deal with the publishers that, are just saying, hey, we're not going to publish this, we're not going to put it out there. But when it comes to submitting stories, trying to get into anthologies and working with indie presses, that's part of it.
I'll be happy once we actually finished it.
Yeah, well, that was like when we ended the recording when we were recording last.
Thank God I'm done talking to them.
No, I mean when we stopped recording, but we kept talking.
Yeah, it was nice.
And I was just encouraging you guys, just write it, just finish it. And
finish the first one.
Past that first hurdle, something will change in your mind. You will have something that when you are in the throes of doubt of, am I ever going to finish this? Can I publish this? Do I know how to write? You can always look back. You can look at that, book on your shelf, or you can go to Amazon and look at your product page and say, okay, I have finished something before. I am capable of it. And sometimes that's what you need, if Spencer's not there to push you up a hill like he did in y'all's episode, then at least your book can do that.
I was just about to say, Spencer, is this what it's like having him as your coach, as your writing coach? You get those motivational speeches every day.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I can barely afford him. He's worth every penny.
This is why Tom is part of the Bookie Friends, isn't it? Because he's just so motivated. That's the only reason why I wanted him in. He's just our sort of, it props us up.
Is he the ultimate hype man?
He's the Coach Carter of the group.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take that title.
How do we label Mike Saul? If you're the Coach Carter, who is Mike Saul?
Mike Salt is the bouncer. He's the
all right.
I
like it. Maybe sometimes with too much muscle, he's the one that, oh my God, he's gonna hear that and be like, ha ha, I got Haley. But I bet, like, cause he gets so sassy with us, and I'll text him back or in our little group, and I'll say, hey, no, I'm being sassy. Like, get on here and watch us sassing you. But we just give Mike Saul like such a hell of a time.
Well, I'm glad to hear that everybody's doing pretty well, and it sounds like everybody's going to take a little bit of time for the Thanksgiving holiday to kind of just recoup a little bit. But I think that's going to be me and Dave's crunch time when it comes to our writing thing.
Yeah.
I think we still. Do you have all of your stories, or how many do you need left? Because I know I need 2 more stories to complete my portion of mine.
I have an idea for all 6 of mine.
Okay.
And I have an outline done for at least 3 of them.
We might be blowing up Spencer's email because he volunteered to help us work on it. So I'm sure I'll be
what
spamming.
Have I done?
I'll be spamming it. I'm going to be calling him at 3 a.m. like, Spencer, how does this sound?
Can't wait.
If it's too late at night, Linus actually takes his calls. So just be prepared, because you never know what Linus is going to say.
Yeah, my assistant, he's furry, he's a little dumb, but he'll help you out.
I'll take it. I just need someone to like talk at.
He specifically only takes payment in tuna. So if you could just send that over, he'll make sure you're taken care of.
specific brand?
He is not a picky bitch. He'll take whatever he can get.
Okay, good.
See, my cat is very picky. Like I gotta get a specific brand of food, specific cat litter, or you won't use litter box.
He's not talking about a cat. He's talking about an actual guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little insulting, man. I hope Linus doesn't hear this.
Like, Linus is right here. Linus, come here.
That's like another horror story prompt. You could take like Thomas's the potted plant, the unfed kitty.
There we go.
Hey. Oh, Mike Salt, what are you doing here? Oh.
R.I.P. Tom.
He needed to get that out of his system.
So
Like so, I think Tom's really just a peacock. He suggests these things in a peacock-like way, but I don't think he would have the capability of fighting us all.
No.
I think he might have the capability, but I think he's a lot nicer than he puts off.
Oh, he's such a softie, that Mike Salt.
I feel like we're just baiting him,
Yeah. It's all
I
this
can't
for.
wait for him to listen to it. We're just gonna in our little group, we're just gonna be boom boom boom. Mike Salt, just hearing it all.
that'll be the timestamp on this thing from this time to this time. Just nothing but Mike Salt talk.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
his head's gonna blow up.
The rails
The
are
rail-
starting to shake on this.
The rail's
train
already
ride.
gone.
Should we go ahead and check out this trivia thing that I got sorted out here?
Absolutely.
The way I decided to do this is I divided you guys up into teams. That way we don't have everybody like shouting out answers all at the same time. It's going to be Haley, you're going to be with Thomas, and Spencer, you're with Jamie.
Hey.
So now I have here 30 questions. 24 of them are all Stephen King questions. There are no repeat answers. So if one of the answers is like The Shining is not going to make a appearance later on. There's no more questions about The Shining. But there's also, for 2 extra points, there are 6 questions in here that have to do with you guys to see if you guys are really the spooky friends that you claim to be.
Ooh,
And see who you guys.
Oh, man.
You're looking to start fights. I see
know.
this.
I love you all. through
You're
and
trying
through.
to break up the team.
Are all
No,
6
our
questions?
It's
love
all
is
a good
full-
friend.
Actually, this
Yeah, our
is
love is full circle.
this doesn't have anything to do with your friendship. This is just to see if you guys are listening to the podcast or not. Because some of these,
These are about when you guys are on the podcast. Let's
Y'all,
be
if
honest.
we can get to the
Nice.
other side still as spooky friends, we can get through anything. I think that's
Yeah.
the lesson here.
Yeah.
so decide amongst yourselves who you guys want to go first. And
You know what? Let's I say let's let Thomas and Haley have the first step. Jamie, you good with that?
I'm good with that. We're going to win anyway, so it's fine.
Jamie's been very
Thomas, I'm trying.
Jamie's been very cocky in the instant messages we've been doing back and he was like, "Oh, I play to win." So
Oh yeah.
I seriously made a pact with myself when I started working for Cemetery Dance. You have to step away from King and read horror, or read indie horror, and read women in horror, and people of color in horror. And now I'm like, you guys are like Stephen King. I'm like, okay. So Thomas, promise me we're still going to be friends after this.
Hey, I'm
all
the
depends.
only guy here who has a professor as a teammate. So I
We'll see
feel,
how that
I
does.
feel
a professor of literature, am I right? So I
Yes,
mean, if anybody, so
We'll see.
all right. So if you guys are going first, the way this is going to happen is I'm going to pick out 2 questions out of this bowl, and I'm going to tell you up front that it's going to be I'm looking for this or I'm looking for this, and then I'm going to let you decide which question to ask. So between Haley and Thomas, you guys randomly between yourself tell me who you want to start this off, because this is an individual thing.
Oh shit! I thought we got to help each other.
No, because if you guys get it wrong, they have a chance to steal
They
it.
have a chance
so.
to steal
Oh
that.
my gosh!
But
So you
I
can
now
discuss it, but you might end up giving them an answer.
I was going to do 3. I was going to give you each team 3 lifelines here, but you can only use them once. You can pass it to your teammate, or you can have 1 free guess, or you get 1 hint. And you have those 3 lifelines, but you can only use them once.
Okay, so when you say a free guess, that means that we can guess it, and if we get it wrong, we still get another guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the last one?
The last one is you get a hint.
Hint. Okay.
A hint at the answer.
I'm
And the
taking
first
notes.
one. And the
No,
first
I
one
like
was
it.
now
Yeah.
everybody gets it, so you don't have to worry about the team using it up. Everybody gets those 3 lifelines.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead and who's up first? Is it going to be Thomas or is it going to be Haley? Which one's up to the? Who's going to get us
Thomas,
kicked off?
You got to give me the hype. You gotta start us off here.
Okay. All right, I'll go. I will step into the gloom first.
So, your two categories that you can choose from: character or movie title.
Movie title.
Okay. Your first question to get our Stephen King kicked off. In his collection of novellas, 4 Past Midnight, one of the stories talks about a man, Mr. Toomey, whose father told him about creatures who hunt down and devour negligent and unmotivated young boys. What were those creatures called? 'Tis also the name of the story.
Mr. Toomey.
I see you giddy over there, Jamie.
Just for do Stephen King quizzes for a year.
What was that?
He said that he does Stephen King quizzes.
Every year, for a year, every Sunday during lockdown, we would do a Stephen King quiz, and that's how I met Kelly Brocklehurst and Dave Musson.
What he's saying is,
Thomas, do you still think it's? Yeah, I don't think the professor was the best teammate.
Let me know if you need me to reread it.
Yeah, read it again. I missed the guy's name.
In his collection of novellas, 4 Past Midnight, Stephen King talks about a man, Mr. Toomey, whose father told him about creatures that hunt down and devour negligent and unmotivated young boys. What were those creatures called? 'Tis also the name of the story. Also later made for television.
I think I know it, but I don't know if I want to use one of our. So, okay, do we each get a lifeline, or are
all three? No, each of you have these individual lifelines. So if you use up your lifeline, that doesn't mean Haley still has all 3 of hers.
Okay. Then let me use my free guess.
Okay.
Is it the Langoliers?
It is the Langoliers.
Okay.
That funny story about the Langoliers, that is the only, for a different reason, not because it was scary. That's the only Stephen King property that ever scared me. When it came out, I think I was in middle school, and I was watching it, and my father had gotten his brother to call the house and say that I'm the Langoliers, I'm coming to get you. I'm looking at you, I'm coming to get you. Now, I cried, but it wasn't because I thought the Langoliers were real. I thought there was some creep outside the house looking inside, and like just some psychopath gonna come in and watching me watch the Langoliers and come. So I always
but there was.
You just didn't know it.
My uncle was the Langoliers the entire time, but.
So for me,
I haven't seen the miniseries, but the novellas.
Mr. Toomey is way over the top in that movie, but I love it. Dave, big surprise. I thought the kid was annoying. But
Chris hates kids. Just so everyone knows.
Yeah, hashtag put in the hashtag Chris hates kids, apparently. But I think it's most infamous for the bad CGI on the Langoliers because it looked like a bowling ball with teeth. Just picture that in Horrible's 90s CG. I still like that movie. Weird, over the top, poor CGI, and some poor acted and overacted as it is. I like that.
So for some reason, I have read 3 of the 4 stories from 4 Past Midnight, and the Langoliers is the one I haven't read, and I haven't seen the miniseries, and that's why when I asked you to say the name again, I was like, I don't know this name.
You just had process of elimination.
But I also couldn't fully remember the plot behind the library policeman, so that's where I was like, okay, let me use a free guess here because it's got to be one of these 2.
We need to review Langoliers at one point because I think objectively it's considered a bad movie, but I still like it. So I think at some point Dave, you haven't seen it? Excuse me.
No, I don't think I've seen it.
I don't think I've heard of it before this. I don't think I ever heard of that one. So, Thomas, that did not give me confidence. I mean, good for you.
The confidence should come from the fact that you knew to pass it on to me before you heard the question. So
the confidence should be that he has never seen it and he still got it right.
Yeah.
Thomas is the hype man.
Yes,
exactly.
ultimate.
He got it through sheer willpower.
Yeah. This will be the last question I get correct today, but by golly, it was the first one.
All right, Dave, you're gonna be keeping score, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, did I mention at the beginning of this that there's money on the line?
Oh God.
The winning team gets $50.
Yeah.
Wow.
$25 a piece.
$25 a piece. Plus, I have a little trophy being made for the winner.
But Thomas, the ultimate reward and trophy is friendship.
True friendship.
He's like,
if we get our asses handled to it, but
not for
still love
Jamie.
me.
Not for Jamie. Jamie's like, no, the ultimate win is that money and that little trophy that says I'm better.
The true reward is friendship is straight from the mouths of losers. Let's just say that.
Yes.
True.
Losers Club.
On that
Okay, you
note,
brought it back.
between Jamie and Spencer, which one of you guys are up first?
Jamie, you want to give it a stab first?
I'll probably make I'll guess it all wrong from now on because I said that thing.
Just because he's hyping himself up so much?
He's getting them all wrong.
Okay, so your two categories that you can choose from is a character name, or this one is a random trivia.
Go random.
Random one? Okay. Stephen King did for dogs what Alfred Hitchcock did for birds in his movie Cujo. What kind of dog was Cujo?
Saint Bernard.
Yep, he was the same, but he didn't hesitate at all. Saint Bernard.
No, he did not.
I knew that one.
Thomas knows that one.
Yeah.
That's the first Stephen King book I ever read.
According to Stephen King from the Bravo's Top 100 thing that I watch yearly, Cujo is his favorite or the scariest movie adaptation of one of his properties of when Cujo starts attacking.
Yeah.
I bet
Scary
book
movie.
was-
That revolving shot around the car. It terrified me.
I bet the book was pretty scary too when he read it for the first time and had no recollection of actually writing it.
Yeah, Thomas, that is a bleak Stephen King book to start your read.
Yeah.
Like that might be his darkest book. It's just completely stripped of all hope, which it may sound surprising to people who haven't read him, but Stephen King's books have a lot of hope in them usually.
Yeah.
Man's best friend? No.
I was 14, found it in a thrift store.
Oh Jesus.
But then also I don't know, like I'm not a dark person per se.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that book. It was my first one. It kept me reading King. And then my favorite King book is Pet Sematary. So go figure.
Yeah.
That's actually a good topic. Just real quick, we got yours. What was y'all's first Stephen King full read?
Mine was It.
Yeah, well, mine was Cell,
Yes.
like we talked about.
Yeah.
Man, that blows my mind, Haley.
Yeah.
I
Your
stole
first
it from
read.
a library, you guys. It was my first crime.
How old were you?
I think I was 13, and I was reading a series of unfortunate events, and I loved just kind of the gothic and the grim. I did Shirley Jackson, and my mom wouldn't let me go any further. So we went to a library, and it was a college library too, my campus, and I stole it. And put it in my coat pocket. I went home and read it at night.
It's a big coat pocket.
Was her.
Right, that's a giant book from your cover.
That was her
just
first
like-
taste of crime, and she hasn't stopped since.
Right.
Right. I'm not here.
Oh, I just now noticed what's behind you. Pennywise.
We're talking to me. Oh yeah.
She's like, what? No.
Like,
No,
what?
he's
I
not.
forgot.
Did somebody
Yeah.
say
Don't
it?
you do that?
Yeah, I have Pennywise, and then I also have a Losers Club board that has missing kids in Derry as the newspaper. So yeah, over here I have The Shining. Over here I have a comic signed by Elvira and Vincent Price.
She was terrified that the FBI was right behind her because she was sitting there talking about her
Haley's
crimes.
here. Yeah,
And Haley-
Pennywise hunts all my students.
See that Beatles album you reference quite a lot in your book?
Yes.
God,
Oh,
yeah.
yes. I love you. It's right there. Yes, the Sgt. Pepper's by the Beatles. Yes.
And
Thank you, Jamie.
Jamie, what was your first Stephen King read?
The Shining.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Dave, do you know what yours was?
It's the Cell. Yeah.
And,
Jamie actually wrote a great article talking about.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
it's beautiful.
And
Yes,
you wrote that article at the Overlook, right? Essentially.
Yeah, I wrote it at the Stanley Hotel. I'd taken the copy of the book with me to America, and my wife and I were doing this big driving trip, and we never planned to there was no plan on where we were going to go. We just went randomly to places, and we ended up in Colorado. I said, we have to stay at the Stanley, and she found a good couple of nights at it that were quite good for our budget. And I was reading the book inside the hotel. The idea came from, and that book made me a reader, because I wasn't a reader back then when I read that book at 13. And I wrote an essay basically about how it turned me on to reading and made me a reader. I'd already been a writer for about a couple of years. I've been writing stories from 9, but I couldn't get through a book. I would pick up Goosebumps, read first chapter, and that was it. I couldn't get any further, but something about The Shining, 500 pages just sat me down, and I didn't stop until I finished it. Loved it.
Where can we find that article or that essay? It was so well done. I want to read it again.
It's on a Horror Oasis website, so it is.
Okay.
Awesome. Free to read for anyone who wants. It's called Room 217, Why I Never Left.
Okay.
Awesome.
I have to look that up.
Haley.
Yes.
Haley. You got your 2 categories right here.
Okay, Thomas, I love you. Please don't forget that.
I won't.
Both of these are titles.
Okay.
So I'll just ask, do you want the shorter one or the longer one?
Let's do shorter.
Shorter, okay.
Wrong choice.
What was the mathematical equation? No.
Oh my God.
I thought you were for real. I was like, what?
Yeah, I was like ducking.
19.
Yeah.
Be 19.
Both.
Oh yeah, Jamie.
Anthony Michael Hall and Christopher Walken played Johnny Smith in 2 separate adaptations of a Stephen King story of a man who wakes up from a coma with clairvoyant abilities. What is the title of this movie, show, and story? I thought this was an easy one. I gave a lot of clues.
Really?
Not if you haven't read it or seen the movie.
Yeah, I'm
You're
like,
right.
what the hell?
It's been a movie,
what's
a TV show, and a book.
Anthony Michael Hall.
And Christopher Walken both played Johnny Smith in 2 separate adaptations of a Stephen King story of a man who wakes up from a coma with clairvoyant abilities.
I don't even want to look at Jamie right now.
This was actually one of my favorite TV shows back in the day.
Wait, so let me ask a question just for clarity, not about the question you asked, but about these rules.
Yeah.
When it comes to the pass to a teammate one,
Yes.
are we allowed to tell our teammate, like, hey,
I don't know it.
pass this to me?
No.
Okay, then I won't say that.
Hypothetically speaking, Haley should not pass it to me.
Maybe give a wink and a nod, like, hey.
I like it.
I won't hold it against her if she ends up doing that.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay, I'm going to pass it to Thomas.
All right, Thomas.
What is the Dead Zone?
It is the Dead Zone.
Have you read that one, Haley?
Yes, that was one of my first ones. So I was probably 15. I have 3 versions of it on my shelf. So
I'm a
sorry.
huge fan. I know everything about that book.
I just read it last year.
The first 10 pages, I was 15 and I read it, and I don't want to ruin it for readers. But remember the first instance we see that this guy's an asshole? The dog. Yeah, so I almost put the book down because I was 15 and I was like, no. Then Stephen King, does that to you 100 more times.
Yeah, I just read it last year, and then just a few months ago, I watched the Christopher Walken version.
I still need to watch the movie, but I've watched damn near all of the series.
Christopher Walken is so good in that movie.
I'd love to hear Thomas do that line about the ice is going to break.
The ice is going to break.
That's you know how when you hear actors' names, you only can associate them with certain movies. Anthony Michael Hall, I can only associate with playing Johnny Smith in that TV series.
Yeah, I went to Breakfast Club.
Yeah, but I saw Dead Zone before I watched Breakfast Club.
As one should, right? I remember Anthony Michael Hall from
Halloween Kills,
The Dark Knight.
Oh, where he was in The Dark Knight, wasn't he? He played the reporter.
Edward Scissorhands. That was my other one.
I still need to see that. I didn't even know he was in there.
Yeah, he's actually like he's the mean jock guy, which is crazy after you see him in Breakfast Club.
High school, the rest of high school was not kind to him, made him more bitter.
Yeah.
All right, so
he
Took it out in the weight room.
He went on to do such amazing titles as Freddy Got Fingered.
Wow, I haven't heard.
he wasn't that, wasn't he? He wasn't that.
Dude, I recorded that movie on HBO when I was a kid and like watched that VHS over and over and over and over.
The Freddy Got Fingered?
Yes.
Daddy, would you like some sausage? So, I guess we're back now to Spencer. I believe it's your turn, right?
Hey, here we go. I'm ready.
All right, we're on a streak here. No pressure.
Don't be the first one to get it wrong.
Ooh, all right. So you have the option now of our first 2-pointer question.
Hey.
And it's between
That's
that
a thing?
Yeah, between that and a character name.
Okay, let's go with the 2-pointer.
No, I was going to tell you who it was going to be about, but all right.
Okay. I mean,
all right. So this one is the 2-pointer is a question about Thomas.
Okay, so the 2-pointers are about.
Yes, the 2-pointers are about you
friends.
guys, about spooky friends.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, let's go ahead with the 2-pointer.
Okay. See if you paid attention. I don't know if you'd mentioned this, but this was when we had him on.
Well, we never talk ever.
Ever.
So I know very little about this person.
When Thomas Gloom of Into the Gloom podcast was on Body Bag Podcast, we talked about movie franchises that we thought should retire from horror. What horror franchise did Thomas say he thinks should retire?
Oh, fuck. Man, I did not listen to that episode.
I know this one.
I listened
weird.
to Thomas's podcast religiously, and so it takes up all my time,
Spencer, you heard it here. Spencer Hamilton, not a fan of the Body Bag Podcast.
Does not recommend.
Does not recommend Body Bag Podcast. I'll appear on it, but God, I will not listen to it.
Even though he had a rough upbringing in religion, we've also just heard it right here that he is still religious.
You motherfucker.
Your friend in Christ, Spencer Hamilton.
Okay, so run down the list of little like
lifelines.
The lifelines. You can either pass it to Jamie, you can get a hint, or you can get a free guess.
Oh my God, I have the best hint.
All right, let's go with the hint.
Here, I'll still let you can give your hint, Chris, but I'm gonna say is Freddy Got Fingered.
This horror franchise had a sequel within the last year.
So it was not that.
Wait,
wasn't it?
Was it the last year? I feel like
within
2 years.
Within the last 2 years. I got the date. Sorry, within the last 2 years, it had a sequel.
I also, Spencer, I think you said something, and I'm not sure if they heard your answer.
I mean, they shouldn't hear it because there's not been an Elm Street movie recently.
Okay.
What? I'm so confused. I'm so like, am I?
You
am
are right though. You are right. I don't.
That wasn't his answer when we had him on, but we did talk we did talk a little bit about Nightmare on Elm Street.
Is it fucking Saw?
It is.
It is fucking Saw.
It is Saw.
Oh, wait.
I'll throw something at the wall.
I didn't even know what I said because in my mind I thought it was Nightmare on Elm Street.
No, we talked about Nightmare on Elm Street, but you said Saw as your answer to that question.
Wow, what a roller coaster! Can I just say?
That's why I got really confused when you're like, Freddy Got Fingered. I'm like, how is that a hint?
I guess I'm done. I'm done with both franchises. He should get 4 points, not only for getting the right answer, but what Thomas thought his own answer was.
I got the secret answer too, man.
Having to deal with my bullshit.
So that's two. So mark it down. They got 2 points for that, since that was the question for the spooky friends.
He earned that shit.
Yeah.
Total shot in the dark.
Right.
Oh God, I thought I was helping him out because
You were trying to lead him astray.
Yeah.
I just know that, like, I love Chris Rock and I love Samuel L. Jackson, and I used to love the Saw franchise. And so when I saw Spiral, I remember thinking they should retire this franchise. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's like, when did Spiral come out? Was it last year or was it in the past 2 years?
I thought it was within the
Yeah.
last. I thought it was within the last 365 days.
who's to say with all of the delays in movies in the last
Right.
I still
couple
need to
years,
see it though. I've been hesitant to see it because I actually like the Saw franchise.
You
Or at
probably
least-
shouldn't watch it.
I'm going to, but I
that
don't know.
first one, like we talked about, that first one is killer.
The first three,
Yeah.
I think the first three are a solid trilogy. I think
Yeah,
that it could have
agreed.
ended at 3 and it would have been completely fine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing about Spiral, I don't want to make you not go and see it.
I'll see it anyway.
It's not a bad movie. It's just that I felt like they hyped it up as some new exciting take, and
Mhm.
it's absolutely not. There's nothing really new being presented here.
That's fine. If it's nothing new, if it's still the Formula A thing, I'll still enjoy it somewhat.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's worth checking out. But
I mean, I know objectively they got worse, but I don't know. I still like the first 3 so much that I'll enjoy them. But Thomas, even though you're intentionally trying to screw over your friends, it is up to you now. So you're up next.
Yep, I guess I am.
All right, so you're two.
This is, I'm dead over this. Like, it's so, like, even while they were discussing this, like, I sent Haley a direct message telling her what it was, and I said Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, I was fully convinced in my mind that that's what I said.
So I sent him a DM and I said Saw, and he put Nightmare on Elm Street, and I was like, oh fuck, I even listened to that podcast, and I did. I listened to that podcast, and I was right.
Even Haley said that. What the hell are you talking about?
That's not helpful. It's a bad hint.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bad hint. Freddie what does that have to do with Saw?
Right. That threw me for a little bit, like, what is he talking about? Freddie got fingered.
I mean, a lot of people
I was
consider
like,
that
and
movie.
the award goes to.
A lot of people consider that movie torture to sit through, but I mean, all right. So both of these are title ones.
Okay.
One of them is original title, and one of them is movie title.
Okay, so, and is one of them is the character?
No,
Focus
no,
on
no,
character?
no. Those are the 2 categories that you have. One of the 2 categories are both just titled either original title or movie title.
Okay, see, look, I'm checked out, I guess. I thought every question you asked was going to be either character or title. Okay, let's go with
Congrats,
original
this guy.
title.
Original
Let's go
title?
with original title.
All right.
In 2004, Johnny Depp starred in a film adaptation of a King novella, Secret Window, but that's only part of the full novella name. What was the full title of the novella?
I saw this in theater. Secret Window,
Great movie.
Secret Garden.
Yes. Whenever people talk about King movies, that one doesn't usually get brought up. I have a soft spot for that movie. I really like that movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think that at this point in time, it's a trope that's a bit worn out, but at the time, it was still fresh.
Mm-hmm.
I think Johnny Depp is just a good match too for King adaptions, especially the novellas that kind of have like that kind of grungy, like writery, like he could be that little, like that kind of messy, grungy looking guy. So I think it's a good match.
Mm-hmm. I watched the. Wait, has everybody here seen that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I watched the ending bit where he's puts the hat on and starts talking to Shooter in his mind. Like, I watched that on repeat a couple of times. I get the chills watching it. I love that scene.
I know. It was just huge. I was surprised.
Yeah, they did a good job with the reveal.
I think so too.
Also, wait, I'll save this. This might end up being a question later. But there's another movie that the reveal is so good.
I imagine that if this anthology ever really gets off the ground and we become like actual professional writers, I imagine when she comes at the end, when she comes to the lake house and she walks in and sees everything, and that would probably be the kind of author I would be. If somebody like, I would have to recluse myself off at a cabin somewhere, and then people would just come in like, what the hell happened in here? All right, Jamie.
Yep.
You're up. All right. Your two categories are, okay.
Ooh.
Stephen King, the man, trivia, and title.
I'll challenge myself. Let's go with the first one.
Okay. Now this might just be easy, but it's not something that people would necessarily think about. But it'd probably be easy if you're a Stephen King aficionado. They say behind every great man is a strong woman. What's Stephen King's wife's name?
Tabitha Spruce.
Yeah, you even have the last name too, Spruce. Yeah, I didn't, when you think Stephen King, I didn't think of it until when I was making these questions. I was like, is that dude married?
Has anyone read any books by Tabitha?
Because she's a author herself. When I was looking her up.
I keep seeing one that's been popping up on Bookstagram the past like few weeks. One of hers. I don't know if it's
read more of her short stories.
Yeah.
Michael Goodwin. I read some of her short stories.
Small World.
Yeah.
Yes, I've got The Trap by her. I haven't read it yet, but meaning to.
Stephen King said she'd always be more famous if she wasn't so intelligent. He said his books are easy to read and they're accessible, and he said she's too intelligent.
I wouldn't know how to take that if somebody told me.
You're too smart to be.
You're too smart to be successful. I didn't know when putting that in if that was going to be a tricky one, because I didn't know anything about. I didn't even know he was married until I was looking all that up.
Same, yeah.
Oh man, I'm such a nerd. Like I know his three kids and what they do for a living.
Yeah.
Oh, then I just gave that was just a gimme then to Jamie.
If we didn't have Tabitha, we never would have had Carrie. Carrie, she chased him around and made him finish Carrie.
Wait, Chris, do you know that Joe Hill is Stephen King's son?
Of course I do.
Yeah.
Is wow, okay.
Yeah, look at us.
Of course. I mean, I run a horror podcast. Of course I would know something as
Well, I didn't learn that until Lock and Key came out on Netflix. I was watching it, and then I looked into Joe Hill. I was like, oh, that makes sense.
His books are incredible. Everything he does is incredible. I love it. Yeah.
He even wrote a really cool article about people kept asking him when his identity came out, because he didn't want to be linked to King initially. Somebody kept asking him if it was hard to write, with people knowing that Stephen King was his dad. And so he finally sat down and wrote an article about it, and it was amazing.
So who's up next? But is it Haley that you're up next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You actually have. I just pulled out two pointers.
Okay.
Both of them about Spencer.
I thought you were going to say both of them about Thomas.
It'd be funny if you gave Haley questions about herself.
I have to get them wrong.
All right. So
did you.
So Haley got this Vincent Price movie wrong. I'm going to do this movie quote. Tell me which movie this was from.
Just troll me every season on the Body Bag podcast.
No. So just pick between one or two. Two. All right. Taken straight from the episode with Spencer. In Spencer's book, Fear, Jack and Ash go to see Jaws in the theater. However, Spencer says that he was inspired by another shark-based movie when writing this story. What would that movie be?
Oh, no.
Damn it, Spencer. You were
sorry,
like, the Fear,
Haley.
and I was like, and you said Jack and Ash. I'm like, no, them too. Yeah, I know the Fear well. My sister and I, we've both read it. I've read it twice now. Oh, Spencer. All I took away from this was I have to finally watch Jaws because it means so much to Spencer, and he got me to.
I feel like I've let you down.
No, I feel like I've let you down. No. Oh, man, I can see it.
Inspired by another shark-based movie. What was that shark movie that inspired him?
It's so, do you guys, am I like totally wrong when I say like the 2000s was shark era? So I'm trying so hard to be like, it's nothing like that. I mean, obviously, but you guys know what I'm saying. Okay, I'm gonna pass. So does that mean wait?
You already used your pass.
Yeah.
Shit, Thomas.
Well, I don't know that I know this. I think I do, but it's a debate between two different movies in my mind.
You've got two.
Man.
You heard it here again on Body Bag Podcast. Haley Newlin, not a fan of the Body Bag Podcast, does not. Spencer nor Haley listen to the Body Bag Podcast. You heard it here.
I got Thomas's right.
Yeah.
And I've read The Fear. I don't know. What do I do if I just really don't know?
I mean, you
could
take
take
a lifeline.
You could take a shot. You can either take a shot in the dark, use a lifeline, but if you get it wrong, Jamie has an opportunity to guess.
Haley, I say you just take a stab and throw it out there. Don't use your lifelines. Let's save those.
Okay. I can't think of any other shark movies, you guys.
All right, so you forfeit your guess, I guess.
I'm sorry, Thomas. I'm sorry, Spencer.
It's okay.
All right, Jamie.
It's such a disappointment.
You have an opportunity to take this.
If I pass it to Spencer and he gets it wrong, what happens?
you can't pass it to Spencer.
So bad.
No.
I actually am really confused. I've read The Fear and I can't remember. So the only thing I can think of that's in that timeline that was released is Deep Blue Sea.
Nope, it wasn't Deep Blue Sea. Spencer, you want to tell him what it was?
It was The Meg, right?
It was The Meg.
It was
When
The Meg.
I moved to
Yeah.
Austin, I went to a Riverside showing of The Meg and thought, that movie's too shitty to put in The Fear. Let's use Jaws.
See, now that's what I thought it was, Spencer. I thought it was The Meg, but in my heart, I wanted to say Deep Blue Sea because
That's the only one that comes to my
Yeah.
mind.
Your
Whenever
heart
I think
is a lying
shark
little
movies.
bitch.
Well.
Yeah.
It'll
I'm
be
sorry.
okay. Don't be sorry because we'll see if they get the questions about you, Greg, when they crop
Yeah,
up.
I feel like I might have the hardest movie in the group for my episode.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I still haven't listened to your episode either, so you can put me on that list there, Chris and David.
The most I know about Vincent Price can be boiled down to my spooky friend Haley loves him.
Oh.
Well,
I watched Jaws for you.
this is very interesting. This is it Spencer's turn?
Yeah.
Is it?
Because you have a 2-pointer right here that I randomly drew, and it is about Haley.
Oh no.
It's either that or I drew 2-pointers. The other one is the second question about you. So you can either give that to Jamie and he can try to answer a question about you, or you can try to answer a question about Haley.
Well, let's go ahead and try another stab in the dark about things I know nothing of. So, Haley.
Haley. Okay. When Haley was a guest on King Po Myers as well as the Body Bag Podcast, she was told how southern she seemed when she mentioned a particular danger that one can get while running out into the fields. It is also referenced in Take Your Turn, Teddy. What is that danger?
This is a good one.
Shit. I mean, what do you think, Jamie? Should I just take a stab or do a lifeline or?
He can't say to pass it to himself, so you have to make that decision.
Yeah.
But
Man.
he can wink.
This is a strange use of teams.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Can we confer privately in DMs?
I have nothing to do to keep you from doing that.
Yeah.
Let's how do the lifelines work?
You can either pass it to Jamie, take one free guess, or you get a hint.
All right, I'm gonna do the free guess.
Okay.
Is it a danger of ticks?
No.
Did not think so. Cool.
Just
Those
wanted to
would be
make
pretty
sure.
bad, too.
This is great. So now because he used his free guess, now he has to answer again and give us something else that he thinks would be super Southern.
Oh man.
you guys from the South get ticks, right? You guys.
I honestly have no idea.
Well, that means that Thomas, you can steal it if you would like to try to. give a
repeat
guess.
the question one more time.
All right. When Haley was a guest on King Poe Myers as well as the Body Bag podcast, she was told how Southern she seemed when she mentioned this particular danger that one can get while running out in the fields. It is also referenced in Take Your Turn, Teddy. What is this danger?
I have to stop right here to say that you're talking to the narrator of Take Your Turn, Teddy.
He gets tasked with reading words, not comprehending them.
Check out Take Your Turn, Teddy on Audible with Thomas Gloom.
Yeah. Well, if you're running into the cornfield, can't the corn cut you?
Mm-hmm.
Is that not the answer?
Is that what your answer is?
Yeah, that's what I'm answering.
Yes, it's
okay.
Getting a corn cut.
Corn cuts.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. Is like that's not even a Southern thing. That's a Midwestern thing.
Yeah,
we gotta deal with in Indiana.
It's pure Indiana.
That's just
people up north
wherever there's
know.
a field thing.
Yeah, cornfields.
And I have listened to that interview as well. So
Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah, and I will get to the Body Bag one once I watch the movie. I hate spoilers.
We should do a spooky friends virtual, like watch along, and I'll pause and say, Vincent Price. I'll be your guide.
I love that idea.
Take a drink every time.
Yes, every time Haley pauses.
So is it me again?
It is now back to you, since that was technically not your turn.
Thank God, Thomas, you're our team.
You've only missed one.
I know.
Both of these are titles. You want the longer one or the shorter one?
Let's go with the longer one.
Terrible idea.
Okay.
Got it.
Weeds, also known as The Lonesome Death of Geordie Verrill, was a part of a collection of stories by Stephen King. King would later play the title character, a backwoods New Hampshire farmer, in the movie adaptation of the same name for those short stories. What was the name of the movie? I'll reread it again because I kind of stumbled over myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weeds, also known as The Lonesome Death of Geordie Verrill, was a part of a collection of stories by Stephen King. King would later play the title character, a backwoods New Hampshire farmer, in the movie adaptation of those same short stories. What was the name of the movie?
Well, this movie came out in 1982, and it was directed by one of my all-time favorite directors, George A. Romero, and it was called Creepshow.
No, that's incorrect. No, you got it. Yeah, that's correct.
I just rewatched Creepshow and Creepshow 1 like a few days ago, but whenever October was. 2 weeks ago. What is wrong with time?
I don't know.
I literally feel like that was just a few days ago, and here it is, the 18th of November. But yeah, I love Creepshow.
Do you have a favorite of those stories?
Corny, cheesy goodness.
I like The Crate.
It's really tough. I mean, what was it called? What was the first story called? Is it Father's Day?
I want my cake.
Yeah. I want my cake. Just all of the characters are so unlikable, and it's one of those things where it's just like, yes, please rise from the grave and kill them all. But I mean, he was an asshole too.
Yeah.
Is that the one with the headless woman, like on the platter? Is that the right show?
That was at the end.
Yeah.
I like the roaches one.
Creepshow 2. That opening story, I can't remember the name of it, but with the Indian sculpture, the Native American guy out front who comes alive, that creeped me out as a kid. Horrifying, because there was one of those near me in Alabama at some convenience store, and every time I walked past it after seeing that movie, I was just waiting for him to put on the war paint and come after me.
Wait, Thomas, do you get corn cuts in Alabama?
I've never been in a cornfield, but
You mean your parents like supervise you and like watched what you were doing and they didn't let you run into open fields?
No, I've never gone in a cornfield because I saw the movie Signs in theater.
Yes, me too.
And yeah, it scarred me.
Yeah. We would go looking in the cornfield. Like after we saw that movie, you know, it was like the thing to wander in after you saw Signs, and my brother used to hide.
Just bring a water bottle with you. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, but see, now I've also read and seen Children of the Corn and In the Tall Grass. So there's just lots of reasons not to go into those fields.
And corn cuts are pretty scary too.
Something
Those are pretty rough.
Something happened to Stephen King around corn. I'm just saying, like, the
corn cuts, man. They're rough.
Yeah, corn
you got corn cuts. That's
Secret Window, Secret Garden.
Got scarred memories.
Yeah.
Jamie, I believe you're up.
Cool.
You have character name and move, and no, both of them are character names. So, just pick one or two.
One.
All right. In the Green Mile, all the prison guards get along, with the exception of one spoiled jerk that terrorizes the inmates as well as the other guards. What was that guard's name?
Percy Whitmore.
Percy Whitmore.
That was a trick. I was like, wow, Jamie doesn't know this.
one of Hollywood's greatest like asshole characters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Oh, I think he's a bit of an asshole in real life, but anyway.
Yeah,
I was so
very much. Yeah,
I was so hoping that you were going to choose two because it's back in the random thing, but that one was a Children of the Corn thing, just to keep with the whole corn.
I will also say that I am currently 2 years into a Stephen King reread, so slightly at advantage.
Yeah, you have all the advantage, all the recent knowledge.
Yeah. Hey, Jamie, am I right in this? Have you read everything that King's put out?
Everything, I think, except the baseball Fateful novel.
Okay, so you are, I think, the only person on this panel who has read all of his shit.
Because it's a lot.
Yeah.
And you're in the middle of a reread.
This episode could have just been like, all right, stump Jamie and see if
Yeah.
And they're all over there as well.
Look at that bookshelf.
so I guess you're a fan.
Yeah.
No, I do. I own all of them, but I think I'm missing 6. But I haven't read them all. Jamie, I don't know if you're aware, but Grady Hendrix a few years ago did what he called the Great Reread. And have you read his commentary?
I loved reading. See, that's what I'm kind of doing on my own, because every time I read one, I review it. But yeah, I find them really interesting, very insightful. Definitely worth going and checking them out. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Haley, I believe you're up.
Yep.
So you can have title of a collection or title of book and or movie. They're both the same.
Let's do the book and or movie.
Okay. Stu Redman, Nadine Cross, Harold Lauder, and Trash Can Man are all characters in what Stephen King property? Again, Stu Redman, Nadine Cross, Harold Lauder, and Trash Can Man are all characters in what Stephen King property?
I'm just gonna like go under my desk.
Just look at my phone for a second.
Yeah. I know I like those shifting.
Life and our friendship will still continue even if you don't get this right.
Okay,
it might be put on hiatus for like a week or two.
Did I look a little
No.
stressed?
Yeah, it'll be okay.
I'm just gonna Haley combust. Okay, one of you will have to teach my class tonight. Okay. I do have a twin downstairs. It looks just like me. I'll have to run and color her hair blue. Okay. I can't let go of Trash Can Man because I know Trash Can Man.
I'd
Such
be
a unique
interested in
name.
a hint on this.
Yeah, can I hear a hint on this?
All right. First off, Dave, I'm sure. Do you know the answer, Dave?
Yeah.
You want to give a hint?
Let's see.
Can I give a hint at some point?
Sure. Why don't you?
Give a hint, yeah.
Why don't you give a hint there, Jamie?
I didn't
Give
actually
a
have
wrong
one.
hint.
No. I just thought of one.
I wouldn't be that mean. Randall
Yeah.
Flagg.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's,
Is it the Dark Tower?
is that your answer?
Yeah. Is that wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's wrong?
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Well, it's wrong, but
My-
not all the way. Because I mean, it could go with this.
Yeah.
But for the
Wait.
sake of
And that the Dark Tower could be the answer for all the books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haley, it's the Stephen King book that is most like the current hellscape we've been living for the past year and a half.
Yeah, I was going to say that it's his.
everybody
great
wants you to
American
get this
novel,
point
so.
so bad.
Oh, is it Under the Dome?
Oh
No?
shit! That I mean, I guess that could work too.
That's
Damn it! It's driving me crazy.
They recently released the TV series on was it Paramount Plus in the past year?
Yeah, you could say that about 6 other TV shows though.
I know. I'm like, I was like, they just did Lizzie's story.
The original,
Um,
the original miniseries has an actress who stars in Thomas Gloom's favorite series franchise, Saw.
Oh, God.
It's true.
We
That's
are in a
obscure.
pandemic.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
His
Captain
pandemic
Cripps.
novel.
No, that's a hint.
There's a hint. That's a hint. That has to be a big.
I
I know this. My brain's so scattered.
It's mentioned in The Fear.
Oh,
oh my.
Spencer.
I kind of just want to get everybody wants her to have
Yeah.
the point so bad. I just kind of want to give her the point.
Yes. Okay. Stan. Yeah. Okay. I'm done.
Stan.
I'm so done. I'm so done. It's the pressure to perform.
Now,
once this is done recording, she's going to be able to list off every single character in the stand.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and that's the thing too with Randall Flagg is that, you know, essentially Randall Flagg is in The Stand, he's in The Dark Tower,
Yeah.
he's in
Yeah.
Eyes of the
My
Dragon.
mind immediately went to Eyes of the Dragon and Dark Tower.
Mm.
Sorry for that.
He's a he's a bad man.
Yeah.
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 I think The Stand's his best one he's in my opinion.
I enjoy. Yeah, The Stand's a good
Yeah.
movie. So who's up? Spencer.
Spencer. Yep.
All right, here we go again.
He's gonna get two pointers options as usual.
Original title and regular title.
Go with original title.
Stand By Me is a classic Stephen King movie, but it wasn't the original title of the novella. What was King's original title of that story?
The Body.
The Body. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I should probably ask right about now. So, Dave, at the current time, what are the scores?
No, don't tell us yet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Just
It's
wait.
close.
Just wait until it's over.
all right. So
It's very close.
We'll kind of speed through some of these questions then.
Yeah.
But we
There we
can
go.
comment a couple along. I'm having fun
Yeah.
kind of talking about them as we go along.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just leaving the rails.
I think that'll be more entertaining for the audience.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna have fun
What is
either
this?
way.
Yeah.
What is this? What is this? What is this?
We are recording this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so character name and 2-pointer question about Jamie.
Wait, is this me?
This is
Yeah,
you.
it's on you. Yeah.
So you can do a book character name in a book, or you can do a question about Jamie from our podcast.
I can't even. What movie did y'all talk about? Oh, Shaun of the Dead. Yeah, let's do the 2-pointer. Let's do it.
Going for 2.
Okay, has nothing to do with Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
But I remember the episode now.
Yeah.
Jamie mentioned in the podcast that he is a self-proclaimed technophobe, which is why he may have an Instagram, but he doesn't have one of these.
Facebook.
No, it's not what not on the no.
No.
Oh yeah, that was my guess. It's actually Twitter.
Spencer, do you want to try to steal that? His eyebrows just raised like what?
Oh shit. Here we go. Does not have one.
Can I drop my hint?
No, the hint's got a no,
It's not for the steal.
Yeah.
not for the steal.
Oh wait, he does have a Twitter because I follow him on it.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, what are you saying? Like,
I was going to say I have Twitter, but I don't follow Thomas on it.
Oh.
Oh snap!
Oh, you want to? I can reread it real quick.
Sure.
Jamie mentioned in the podcast that he is a self-proclaimed technophobe, which is probably why he may have an Instagram, but he does not have one of these.
A TikTok? We're just going down the social medias.
No, although that would be fun. Jamie, you want to go ahead and answer it?
I don't even know the answer. I think because I said two, it's a website or newsletter.
It was a website. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a website.
Got to get on that, man.
I've been procrastinating on ours for 2 months.
Oh, you have just begun the procrastination. 2 months is nothing.
Maybe during this Thanksgiving period.
Yeah.
Maybe put some money together for Thomas's consultation fee.
I will say that of all the different sites you can go with, I really appreciate Squarespace. I think it's the easiest to use, but when it comes to troubleshooting, there are so many how-to videos and walkthroughs that you can get for free when it comes to Squarespace. So I don't know if that helps you any, but
I might try it someday.
Sponsored by Squarespace.
Squarespace, if you're listening, we'll whore
take
out for
advertising
some
money,
advertising. Yeah.
well, it's funny because when I first got it, the reason why I got it was because my cover designer, Alex Fuller, who's done all of my book covers, she also does websites professionally, and she specializes in Squarespace. So I was like, okay, well, if I get stuck, then at least I know someone I can ask some questions to. But then I found out that I could find all these answers on my own quite easily via Google. So
is it Spencer or Jamie's turn?
Spencer.
Yeah.
Spencer. All right, both of them are titles. You want the longer or the shorter one?
Oh wait, no, Spencer
I think,
just went.
said
Yeah,
the
it's
body,
Jamie's,
so
yeah.
that's
Oh, all right,
Jamie.
Jamie.
Yeah.
All right, longer or shorter?
Longer.
Okay. Stephen King often has issues with how movies based on his properties are directed. So in 1986, he decided to direct his own movie. It did not get glowing reviews. What was the name of King's first and only directorial effort?
Maximum Overdrive.
Maximum Overdrive.
Hey.
Mm.
That movie.
What was
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
It's just
That
a
was
delight.
that ATM just called me. What was it? The line in the movie he says in it? There's a line that Stephen King says in it, and it's an ATM.
Not during the promotional thing where he's like looking at the camera and says, "I'm gonna scare the hell out of you."
Oh, the hubris.
Is that back when he was on cocaine?
Yeah, that was a cocaine movie.
How could you tell?
Yeah, had to be the title.
just slap the Green Goblin's face on the front of that truck.
ACD soundtrack.
Oh, okay. All right. So, is it Haley?
That's Haley. Yep.
Haley. All right.
He's gonna pull our team out of this downward spiral.
Yeah.
This
It's like
one-
I'm driving the downward spiral.
You have one question about a plot point in one of his stories, and then you have a question about name a character.
Let's do a plot point.
Plot point. In Firestarter, what experimental drug was Andy given in college?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I think Jamie's stumped.
I think no.
Tough one.
In Firestarter, what experimental drug was Andy given in college?
I've never read Firestarter, you guys.
But you'll love it when you do. I think it's
Yeah,
great.
I know. I've been wanting to read it.
I just watched the movie last week. That
Nice.
one actually did. It was last week.
Can I do a lifeline or am I out? I don't even know anymore.
Dave.
I think you still have a free guess.
She has a free guess because she did she use up her hint?
She used up her hint on the stand.
So you can have two guesses,
I'm
basically.
gone.
Start throwing drugs out there.
Experimental drug. Okay. What was the year?
You said the
There
year?
you go. Now you're asking the questions.
Yeah.
That was not part of the question.
Year of the movie, was it?
No, it's just in Firestarter, what experimental
Okay,
drug was
okay.
Andy given in college?
All right. Morphine?
It's not morphine.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got this.
She's channeling the Beatles.
Experimental drug.
I mean, some people experiment with it.
Fair enough.
I am channeling the Beatles. I'm also, I don't know if you guys are, I'm also thinking the Tingler. There was an experimental drug in the Tingler that he tries out. That was earlier. LSD?
It's not LSD. I do believe, I think Jamie can try to steal, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Lot 6.
It's lot 6.
Oh my God, I can't believe he knew that. See, that question, I think that's been the hardest question so far.
Yeah, definitely.
It even in the book and in the movie, even though it is referred to as lot 6, it's constantly, saying like, oh, it's similar to LSD. It's like LSD. It has effects like LSD.
I didn't realize it was like that. Like that's not that's. I haven't read Firestarter.
Deep cut.
so when that was like for most of these questions, I kind of knew I knew ahead of time like what the answers were kind of like I know Langoliers and I know Green Mile and stuff like that. Firestarter is one that I had absolutely no idea. So when I was looking up, all right, Firestarter, what's a question I can ask about that? Oh, that seems like a easy question. That seems like a pretty main plot point.
Yeah,
not for Haley.
I think
lot
more,
6 is described as having
LSD.
hallucinogenic effects similar to LSD.
I think a less deep cut of a question for Firestarter would have been, check my math, Jamie, would be something like, what's the name of the shadow agency that is in Firestarter?
But yeah, anyone that hasn't read Firestarter, highly recommend. It's not like a straight horror novel, but it is fast paced. It's fun. Like it's an adventure. It is an adventure. And if you love Stranger Things, there are so many things that the Duffer Brothers took straight out of Firestarter and put into Stranger Things.
I have to read it. I have to read it once I finish Tommy Knockers. That's what I'm currently working on.
All right,
that's a long.
Godspeed, bro.
Who's up?
I think I'm next.
Yep.
You can either do a 2-point question about Haley, or you can do a name the title of a Stephen King novel.
Okay, I feel like Haley and I have tortured each other enough, so I'm gonna go with the title.
Title?
Yeah,
okay.
But I need to be able to steal that 2-pointer.
And he actually listens to the podcast. Plans, all right, so you want the name the novel?
Yes, sir.
Mike Noonan suffers from severe writer's block and delusions at a lake house years after the death of his wife in this Stephen King novel.
Is that Duma Key?
No.
Oh, shit.
That's
man. I have the picture of the cover in my head.
I was gonna say, did you already use up your free guess?
I may have. So
yeah. He did.
So it has to go to either Thomas or Haley, whichever. Do you know who's up for stealing?
I think it'd be Haley.
Yeah.
That is the worst news that she could have ever gotten.
How does the stealing go? What is it based on?
I feel like stealing, they should be able to work together.
I like that.
Let's just throw that in there.
New rule.
Let's just establish that new rule in the middle.
Bag of Bone.
Oh well, yeah, it is Bag of Bones.
Go.
Love that book.
It's a great book.
So good. That is one of his more literary books for sure. Have you read that one, Spencer?
I have not. It is.
I was just gonna say, because your podcast episode is literary horror, isn't it?
Yeah, like I think Spencer would like that book.
I think so too. And so, Thomas, I've read that book, and it didn't ring a bell. He names all of his characters Mike and Rich. And it's hard to know which Mike's which.
Yeah, and a lot of them, they do have their spouses die as well. Before the
he's like Walt Disney. And then William Castle movies, he always has a really vindictive shitty wife.
We had this
We were-
discussion on the podcast.
Yes. I'm like, William Castle, who hurt you?
Right.
You
My
gotta.
apologies, Jamie.
No, not at all. Not at all. The interesting thing about that book, I think, in his career, in reading his career up to date, there's a definite change in his writing style with that book. And yeah, everyone's correct. It's very literary, high literature. But after that book, you can tell like the way he was interested in just describing a scene. He was more interested in internal, kind of character driven, rather than describing the surroundings, which is his earlier work. At least that's what I found.
Another 2-pointer for the next person who's up. I believe, is it Thomas?
Yeah.
2-pointer question about Spencer.
Let's do it.
Oh, just right straight to it. Okay,
Just do it.
Yeah.
Spencer and Chris talk about how The Mist was directed by Frank Darabont. They then talked about 3 other properties that Darabont wrote for. Name 2 of them.
The Walking Dead and The Green Mile.
Yep.
Love Frank Darabont. And both of those the show and the movie. How far are you in The Walking Dead now, Spencer?
Season 3.
Okay. That's something every once in a while, like I'll message Amy and be like, oh my God, have you caught up yet? Are you at this point?
Dude, yeah. So my partner is just so in love with the Walking Dead franchise, and we finally started watching it together this year, and it's great. I had no idea that Frank Darabont was attached, and so when we started the first episode, I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be good.
At what point do they go to a prison? which they did.
But I will
3,
say,
baby.
like, as amazing as Frank Darabont's contribution to The Walking Dead was, I was so disappointed that I guess it took him so long to get the show made. He left the project soon after it got started.
Yep.
I was actually joking when I was saying that because I was like, oh, he did Green Mile and Shawshank. All right, at what point in The Walking Dead are they going to go to a prison?
Right.
Oh, wait, they did go to a prison. Jamie, you actually have your first opportunity for a 2-pointer for Haley.
I'll go for it.
You're going to go for that one?
I'll go for it. Yeah, I'll go for it.
I'm sorry to dig this cut a little bit deeper, Haley.
Oh God.
There's no denying that Haley Newlin is a Vincent Price fan. However, she was unable to place this particular quote from a Vincent Price movie.
Oh, crap.
I'm going to give the
still
quote.
beat myself up after that.
I'm going to give the quote, and you can try to tell me if you know where it's from. And I get to do the Vincent Price voice.
Ooh.
Okay. Very well, if that is your decision. Oh, and by the way, I took the liberty of bringing your daughter here. I would spend many a sleepless night if anything were to befall her.
I don't know many Vincent Price films.
And before the answer is revealed, that is a dead-on impression of that movie.
Haley recommended one to me because she put a post out on Twitter. It's probably be that, but is it the House of Wax?
It's not the House of Wax. Oh my goodness. So Thomas, you are the only one, because Haley can't answer the question about herself, so you're the only one who can steal it. Do you know what that movie is from, or that quote is from?
I haven't even listened to her episode.
but you know what it's from?
I'm pretty sure I do, because I want to hear you say it again, because at the end of it, when you said it, I felt like the accent. I was like, oh my God, are you for real? Do it again. Let's hear it.
Very well, if that is your decision. Oh, by the way, I took the liberty of bringing your daughter here. I would spend many a sleepless night if anything were to befall her.
This isn't a horror movie, right?
I can't say.
Is it The Great Mouse Detective?
It's The Great Mouse Detective.
I'm so proud of you.
Tell me,
Bro.
that's a dead-on impression, isn't it?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And yeah, that movie when I was a kid. Like I had it on VHS and I watched it so much. Like that movie and The Jungle Book and the Robin Hood movie. Those three, I would seriously watch those like every weekend that I was at my dad's house.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rockadoodle came out and that got added to the
That was the first probably Vincent Price movie that I ever saw. Would have been great.
So I'll be honest.
Yeah.
When you said it, I knew the quote and I knew it was from that movie, but I never realized that was Vincent Price who was voicing him.
Yeah. Looking back at it now, you kind of think and go like, yeah, that's definitely Vincent Price.
It just makes sense. He has a Scooby-Doo little short movie too that I really recommend.
When did that movie come out? Wasn't like The Great Mouse Detective, that was in the 60s or something?
No, I think that was the 80s.
It was the 80s, yeah.
Yeah, 80s,
87.
So he was older.
Haley, what's the
very old.
What's the Scooby-Doo movie?
I think it's called 13 Ghosts, if I'm right. Scooby-Doo and the 13 Ghosts. And he plays a guy, his character's called Vincent Van Ghoul.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I'm surprised he just didn't play himself, you know?
I was about to say, they didn't break
know.
their necks on the name. I mean,
Yeah, I know, but they did like Sonny and Cher. They should have done, they meet Vincent Price.
And Vincent Price is actually just like that eccentric of a dude. Like, he actually wears capes and everything. That's just who Vincent Price is.
Velvet robes.
How much time are we working with here?
I could only stay for another 10 more minutes. Is that all right? I'm sorry to be a part.
Yeah.
All right. So how about we just do one more question each, and then we'll take 5 minutes to just kind of wrap up a little bit.
Let's do it.
All right. Who's up?
Haley.
Haley.
Damn it. Why is it always, I feel like it's always my turn.
You got us started, and you're bringing us around.
All right.
Character name, and I guess full title.
Your character name.
In Pet Cemetery, a father buries his son in the cursed graveyard after a family pet comes back to life after being buried in the same cemetery. What was the family's pet and what was its name?
It was a cat and it was Churchill.
Church the cat, yep.
Yeah. After Winston Churchill.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Nice.
Look at me, I got one right.
You finished off strong.
Yay.
And lastly, who's up for Team Spencer V and Jamie?
Jamie, right?
Oh, snap. I have no idea.
Yeah, I believe it's Jamie. So
Let's give it to him.
had the last one, yeah.
Okay. Character name and title. The Shining was not the only Stephen King movie to take place in a hotel. In fact, in 2007, John Cusack and Samuel Jackson started another film adaptation based on a King property about a haunted hotel. What was the movie/book called?
1408.
Yep, 1408. I never read that one, but I heard the audiobook, and that's pretty intense. The stuff that's going on.
It's one of my favorite horror movies, actually.
Yeah, it's really like it's
really
so underrated.
Movie,
It's very underrated, yeah.
I remember when it came out, a lot of people were hesitant to go see it because they were like, "Oh, this big ghost movie. It's only PG-13." Like people couldn't do like a really good haunted like movie with a PG-13 rating. But then I went and saw it. I was like, "This movie's better than a lot of R-rated movies." What are you talking about?
I love the bit where he opens the fridge and finds Samuel L. Jackson in it.
Oh yeah, and they just start. I want my drink. Well, I don't know. Is this true? Since you guys are writers, that superstition with the cigarette thing, is that an actual thing that he had with a cigarette? He kept one cigarette on him,
it is,
and he says he doesn't smoke, but he keeps it. He's like, just in case the world is ending. I think he said is the thing.
Yeah, I think that's true. There's also that sort of I only have one drink, and it's after I finish the novel.
Oh, all right. Is that a thing? Do you subscribe to that?
I subscribe to that, right?
I always keep one bullet in the chamber in case I don't finish a novel I'm working on.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, it's always important to have a plan B.
Yeah.
And that's why he's the best hype man, because he can't fail.
Failure is not an option here, guys.
No, I'll complete it, but it'll all of a sudden there will be these books coming out by Zombie Thomas Gloom.
Zombie Thomas.
I think I need a new author coach. That's
Oh, actually, if That wouldn't work, right? Because I would already have like blown out my brains, and then I couldn't even come back as a zombie. Okay, I'll rethink that.
You'll be like Elvis or something, where you're not really dead. You're actually like in the Bahamas somewhere, like still writing and putting out.
Yes,
Putting out novels,
recording
shit like Tupac.
Recording rap albums with Tupac.
Having your hologram come up, just a hologram of you in a corner writing.
Oh man, sometimes I feel like that is happening.
Dave, you want to give us a total here?
All right. Spencer and Jamie had 10 points. Thomas and Haley had 15. It was very close, and then Thomas stole a 2-point question, then answered a 2-point question right
You guys got two 2-pointers.
Nice.
Oh, that question that Thomas stole that should have been Haley's steal. Is that what we're talking about here?
Oh, the bag of bones one.
I don't think that was a 2-pointer though.
That was one. So you know what? You're right. It's 10. It's 10 to 14.
14.
Good. You know what? As long as we only lose by 4 points, that's what matters.
I can sleep at night.
Now, earlier you had said that the winning team gets $50, but you didn't share the other part that $50 comes from the losing team's wallet.
Oh,
right?
yes, y'all forgot to read the fine print, or I forgot to mention the fine print here. So Spencer and Jamie have to pony up.
Yeah.
Thomas, I'll add my $25 to your next consultation fee.
Yeah. Put it on the invoice.
Yeah.
The winning team also, I wanted to add this real quick, and let's see if we can figure this out real quick. We're going on hiatus after this episode for the Thanksgiving and to kind of figure out our new structure and whatnot before we come back with season 2. But we're still going to be putting out a couple of like little mini episodes during the holiday season. We wanted to do a strew of holiday-themed horror movies that were not Christmas, because we think that other holidays don't get enough recognition. So we were going to do other holiday-based ones. We wanted the winning team to tell us what our first one should be.
I was about to say, you guys haven't done John Carpenter's Halloween yet, right?
No one wanted that.
Yeah.
But it's got so it can be any holiday but Halloween, but Christmas, and it has to be a horror movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it has to be a holiday themed, because we're giving love to other holidays that usually get overshadowed by the bigger ones, especially Christmas, which is a glutton of a holiday. So.
Yeah, see, I've got a bunch of Christmas ones.
Hanukkah ones, huh?
I mean, I know there's an April Fool's movie, but I haven't seen it. I know that there's the Leprechaun movies, but I haven't seen those. Do those take place on?
I don't think they do.
No, they don't.
You know what I'm getting ready to watch with my brother when he comes to visit next week is Thanksgiving.
I think we've discussed that one. Yeah,
very excited.
Is My Bloody Valentine one? Never seen it.
Is that a Valentine's Day movie?
Yeah, I mean, it takes place around Valentine's Day.
I don't even know.
It's not horror, but Groundhog Day.
Well, it depends. It's a horror movie for Bill Murray.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest you give a lightning round of Stephen King questions to see if I can bonk up the numbers.
Okay. Well, there's actually 5 more questions.
He's like, I'm not going to leave until I win this thing.
If you get all 5, you win.
No, let's do that. Let it Haley, if you sign off on this as my teammate, let's give Jamie the opportunity to tie. If he gets all 5 of these, then we're all winners.
Right.
Everybody gets $50.
And just take exactly. And take your trophy.
Our spooky friendship.
Cut your trophy into 4 pieces.
I love it.
All right, Jamie, you want to speed round this then?
Yeah.
All right. Low Men in Yellow Coats, Blind Willie, and Heavenly Shades of Night Are Falling are 3 stories in a collection consisting of 2 novellas and 3 short stories by Stephen King. What was the collection called?
Heart in Atlantis.
It's Hearts in Atlantis. What was the name of the event and cell that caused every cell phone user to become a rabid killer?
The Pulse.
The Pulse.
Nope, didn't know that.
No.
Oh.
In Misery, a former nurse refuses to let Paul Sheldon leave her house until he rewrites her favorite book character. What was the psychotic ex-nurse's name?
Annie Wilkes.
Annie Wilkes. In Shawshank Redemption, Andy Dufresne manages to escape through a hole in the wall that was covered by a poster of this woman.
Rita Hayworth.
Rita Hayworth.
It's
That's in the title of the story.
Damn it.
In The Shining, in the movie, it's room 237, but in the book, it's a different number. What is it?
217.
Yep. And Pennywise the Clown is known for killing a lot of people. However, in It Chapter 2, one of the members of the Losers Club kills themselves before Pennywise has a chance. Which of the members committed suicide?
Stanley.
It was Stanley. And that's all the questions.
Boom.
We actually got through every single Stephen King question.
I think instead of tying, I think what we just learned is that Jamie is the true champion here.
Yeah, Jamie wins it all. Take all.
So how about you guys get the money and Jamie gets the trophy?
You guys may reap the benefits, but Jamie gets the glory.
Yeah.
No, you both get the glory because it's two trophies, one per member.
Nice.
It's on the thing. It's going to be called the King of King.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Thank you.
but I want to thank you guys again for taking some time and joining us all here on Body Bag Podcast. You guys made this season so much fun. It was great to meet you guys, and I'm hoping that you guys come back and check us out during second season.
Well, absolutely. Thanks for having us. This has been a real blast,
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you. I hope I still have some friends after this.
It was cool
We're
seeing
still friends.
it was cool seeing the group of spooky friends. I'd only heard that that's what y'all call yourselves and that y'all were all friends. It was cool to see you guys all in the same place at the same time.
It was nice to be for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
And I hope that everybody has a good Thanksgiving season and hope everybody stays safe out there. And this might be the last episode of the season, but it is not the last episode by a long shot in general.
No.
We'll still be putting out some episodes here and there and just figuring out. We're going to be coming back with a new logo and a new little teaser thing. We're doing a little thing called Rewrites, where we take movies from season 1 that we reviewed, and we have to have each other rewrite something about it. So the first upcoming episode, I had Dave, his rewrite is for the movie 13 Ghosts. He has to rewrite it as a Happy Madison comedy.
Yeah.
And
Damn.
and mine is the movie Venom, not the comic book character, but the episode of Venom that we did, and I have to rewrite it in which a father and son relationship is more of the focus in the thing. So
Venom was easily the worst movie we reviewed.
yes,
the
that's
entire season.
our least favorite movie that we reviewed. So
Yeah.
but that's to come. And I just again thank you guys, and thanks to
We
everybody
appreciate it.
listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
want- See you guys later.
For Chris and David,
Yeah.
Jamie, Spencer, and Haley, this is Thomas Gloom, and I'm about to tear my way out of this body bag.
I love it.
Brilliant.
I'm gonna just start having you do our outros. That way we don't have to. Just at the very,
record the outro.
just at the very. Can I just get you real quick as we're recording, saying this has been the Body Bag Podcast. Thank you guys.
Yes, actually, if you want, I can record that like on my audio setup and send you a clip if you want to use it.
No, do it right now. I have you on recording right now.
Oh,
We're just gonna end out the episode with Thomas Gloom of Into the Gloom giving the Body Bag Podcast the outro.
What do you want me to say again?
I don't know. Make up something.
Okay.
You remember you're the king of segues,
Yeah.
aren't you?
You got this, man. We're learning from you.
We're stealing your content.
Yeah.
Well, for Chris B and David H, this is Thomas Gloom and the Spooky Friends, and we're about to cut our way out of this body bag. But don't stay away for long, because we're coming back with season 2.
Awesome. That's right.
That was. I got chills.
Thanks for alluding everybody to my actual last initial.
Well, on your thing here, it says Chris B.
I know. I go by Chris Thomas. My actual name is Chris, but I go by Chris Thomas.
You can go by Chris B. Thomas.
Sure, why not?
It's a middle name.
No,
say that
no,
again?
that was so good that you're not going to recreate it. That's weird because when you said this is Chris B, I was like, how the fuck did he know that?
Yeah, I just realized mine's David instead of Dave. I'm like, oh, okay.
Like I didn't tell him I didn't tell him what my last name was. How does he know that?
Thomas Gloom knows all.
Thomas Gloom. But again, thank you guys for being on here. It's been a blast.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course, thanks.
Thank you.
It was fun.
Take care.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
You guys have a good night now.
You too.
Hey, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.